you added the products, you set up payments, wrote the descriptions, uploaded the photos, and you launched. Maybe you're even getting traffic. And then they leave. The cart sits empty, the checkout page barely sees anyone, and your conversion rate is sitting somewhere between 1 and 3%, which means 97 out of every 100 people who visited your store today left without buying a single thing. I want to talk about that 3% problem because in my experience, most e-commerce store owners accept it as normal when it's anything but. A low conversion rate is not a mystery. It's not bad luck. It's not that your product isn't good enough. It's diagnosable and it's fixable. I've worked on e-commerce stores across dozens of industries, and the same conversion problems repeat themselves over and over. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the 6 most significant ones, not surface level stuff about button colors or font choices, but the substantive issues that are systematically preventing willing buyers from completing purchases. Let's start with the one that costs stores the most money and gets the least attention. Issue 1, the trust gap. Here's something that might be uncomfortable to hear. Your store might look untrustworthy. Not necessarily bad, not broken, just not trustworthy enough for a first-time visitor to hand over their credit card information. And here's the brutal reality of e-commerce. First impressions form in seconds, and they're almost entirely visual. Before a new visitor reads a single product description or price, they've already made a gut-level assessment about whether this store looks like a business they'd trust with their money. If the answer is not quite, they're gone. And they probably can't even tell you why. They just know something felt off. So what does trust actually look like? Let me show you the elements that move the needle. Reviews. Genuine customer reviews, even imperfect ones, convert dramatically better than products with 0 reviews. And here's something that surprises people. A product with a 4.2 average and a distribution showing some 3-star ratings often converts better than a perfect 5-star average because it looks real. Show the distribution, show the review text, show verified purchase indicators. Return policy. The question in every first-time buyer's mind is, what if this doesn't work out? A generous, clearly stated return policy, visible on the product page, not buried somewhere in the footer, directly answers that question. Make it impossible to miss. Security signals. SSL padlock is table stakes, but recognized payment logos, Visa, MasterCard, PayPal, Stripe, on both product pages and at checkout, those are visible reassurance that tells visitors their information is safe. Business legitimacy. A real physical address, a real phone number, a genuine social media presence, an about page with actual photos of actual people. These details separate an established business from a fly-by-night operation, and buyers notice. Here's a diagnostic exercise I give clients all the time. Open your homepage on a device you don't normally use, maybe a different computer or borrow your spouse's phone, and try to see it through the eyes of someone who's never heard of your brand. Would you buy from this store? If the honest answer is, I'm not sure, that's your starting point. Issue 3, checkout friction. Industry average cart abandonment rate over 70%. Let that sink in. More than 7 out of every 10 people who add something to their cart don't finish buying. Now, some percentage of that is normal browsing behavior, people researching, comparing, saving for later, but a lot of it is something else entirely. It's genuinely interested buyers who hit a friction point, something unexpected, confusing, or frustrating, and decided it wasn't worth the effort. That's preventable revenue leaking out of your store on a daily basis. Let me walk through the biggest friction points. Unexpected costs. This is the single most cited reason for cart abandonment. Shipping charges, taxes, handling fees that only appear at checkout after the buyer has already mentally committed to a price. It feels like a bait and switch, even if it's not intentional. The fix is to reveal full costs as early as possible. Add real-time shipping estimates to product pages, or better yet, build shipping into your prices. Here's an interesting thing. $39.99 with free shipping consistently outperforms $32.99 plus $7 shipping, even though the total is identical. The psychology is different. Required account creation. Forcing someone to create an account before they can check out puts a commitment barrier in front of what should be a simple transaction. You're essentially asking someone to enter a relationship before you've even earned their business. Offer guest checkout. Invite them to create an account after the purchase with their order history already populated. Now there's a clear reason to do it. Checkout complexity. Every page, every step, every form field is an abandonment opportunity, and mobile abandonment is consistently worse than desktop because most checkout flows were designed on a desktop and just barely translate to mobile. Test your entire checkout on an actual phone. If it's frustrating, your customers are experiencing that frustration every day. Payment method gaps. Beyond standard cards, PayPal, Apple Pay, Google Pay, buy now, pay later options like Klarna or Afterpay, Apple Pay alone, one tap, no typing, no re-entering anything, produces meaningful conversion improvements on mobile almost every time I see it implemented. Here's the diagnostic for this one. Run through your own checkout, start to finish, on both desktop and a mobile phone. Time it. Note every moment of friction. Those moments, your customers are experiencing every single one of them, and some percentage is leaving because of it. Issue 4, site speed. This one is invisible, which is exactly why so many stores ignore it until it's too late. Every second your store takes to load costs you visitors, not hypothetically. There's research on this. Going from a 1 second load time to a 3 second load time increases bounce rate by 32%. To 5 seconds, 90%. To 10 seconds, over 120%. Most visitors never see your product. They leave before the page loads. The most common culprits I see: unoptimized images. Product photos uploaded straight from a camera at full resolution, 5, 8, 10 megabytes each. Resizing, compressing to modern formats, serving the right dimensions for the device. This single fix alone often improves load times 30 to 50%. It's the highest leverage performance improvement for most stores. App and plugin bloat. If you're on Shopify or WooCommerce, this is probably affecting you. Every app you've installed adds code that loads on every page. That chat widget you tried for 2 weeks and stopped using, still loading. That abandoned cart app you replaced with a different one, still loading. Audit every plugin for its actual performance cost versus the business value it's delivering. No CDN. If your hosting serves every request from a single server, visitors far from that server experience slower load times. A content delivery network serves cached content from servers near the visitor, reducing load time globally. Go to PageSpeed Insights right now. It's a free Google tool, and run your store's URL. On mobile, if you're below 50, you have a meaningful problem that's costing you traffic and conversions every day. Target 60 at minimum, 80 and above if you want to be competitive. Issue 5, retention. Most e-commerce stores are built around acquisition. Get the traffic, run the ads, try to close the sale. And then if the sale doesn't close, nothing. Move on to the next visitor. This is an expensive way to operate. Customer acquisition costs money. If the only revenue you extract from a visitor is from their first purchase, if nothing else, your economics are brutal. The stores that build strong long-term businesses are almost universally the ones that recover carts, re-engage browsers, and turn first-time buyers into repeat customers. Let me walk through how that actually works. Cart abandonment recovery. Someone adds to cart and leaves. That's a high intent signal. Here's the sequence that works. 1 to 2 hours after abandonment, a simple service email. Hey, you left something behind. Just a reminder with a direct link back to their cart. No pressure, no urgency tricks. The majority of recoveries from the entire sequence come from this first email alone, because a lot of cart abandonment is just distraction. 24 hours later, address likely objections, answer sizing questions, link to reviews, highlight the return policy. This is customer service, not marketing. 48 to 72 hours. Now is the right moment for an incentive. Free shipping, a small discount, a gift with purchase. The reason you save it for the third email is important. If you lead with the discount, you train your buyers to abandon carts on purpose to wait for the offer. Beyond recovery, think about what happens after the purchase. Most stores treat post-purchase as pure logistics. Confirmation email, shipping update, delivery notification, and then silence. That customer has no reason to think about your brand again. A delivery follow-up with a review invitation. A product care guide or tips email, a replenishment reminder for consumables, cross-sell suggestions for complementary products. Each of these touch points is an opportunity to build a relationship that brings that customer back, and returning customers cost a fraction of new ones to convert. Issue 6, site architecture. The last issue is one that's often invisible to store owners because they know their sites so well. You know exactly where everything is. Your customers don't, and they have very little patience for figuring it out. Amazon has trained online shoppers to expect instant, frictionless product discovery. Any store that makes it hard to find what you're looking for is fighting that expectation and losing visitors who would have bought if the path to the product had just been a little clearer. Category structure. Your top level categories should reflect how buyers think about products, not how you organize your inventory internally. A clothing store with categories like tops, bottoms, dresses, outerwear serves shoppers better than spring collection, sale items, featured. Buyers navigate based on what they're looking for. Organize accordingly. Site search. Here's a data point I find genuinely surprising until I explain it. Visitors who use site search convert at significantly higher rates than visitors who browse. They've told you what they want. A search function that returns irrelevant results or no results at all for products that actually exist in your catalog is converting your highest intent visitors into abandoners. This is a high priority fix. Mobile navigation. Navigation designed for desktop often fails on mobile. Deep category trees that require 4 or 5 taps to reach a product. Filters that are nearly impossible to use on a touchscreen. Menus that take up the entire screen. Test your navigation on an actual phone, not an emulator, an actual device, and pay attention to how many taps it takes to find a product. The goal is 2 clicks or fewer from homepage to product. That's not always achievable for large catalogs, but it's the right direction. Flatten your hierarchy. Implement search that works. Make sure filters are usable on mobile. Make product discovery frictionless.